Guess what? You can always come back to yourself. Your relationship with yourself is probably the most important thing in your life. It is literally the dictator of how your life is going to play out. If you want to have a smooth and easy life, you need to start building a better relationship with yourself. You have to remember that you are literally your longest friend, and no one else is going to understand your thought patterns or why you do things or your actions. No one's going to understand that better than yourself. And when you come to terms with that and you actually let that sink in, you'll start realizing that your relationship with yourself should be prioritized way more than it is. In order to come back to yourself and find peace within that, you need to have healthy self communication, whether that be looking in the mirror and affirming yourself, or congratulating yourself, or providing yourself validation. Like, these things are so important, and we often look at other people for this, and that's why we often don't feel content when we're alone. We're just not able to do that because we've never actually provided what we're seeking from other people to ourselves. And you have to realize that it is not selfish to want to spend time to get to know yourself and put yourself first, because it truly is a gift to learn what lights you up and what brings you down. Those things about yourself are what makes you unique. And if you don't know those things, you kind of just become like every other person. You have to learn to become your own home. If you create a space for yourself where you're the one in control of what makes you happy and what brings you peace, you are able to be detached. And this is so important, especially when it comes to living your dream life or like doing the things that you've always wanted to do. You won't have other people or situations holding you back anymore, because you know that your mental state can only really be affected by yourself. Like, no one else should have that power to impact you that much, because you know that you can come back to yourself. And like, this is obviously not to say go into isolation and never talk to anyone again, but other people shouldn't be the source of your happiness. And of course, you feel joy when you're with other people. All that is normal. Like, everyone's supposed to do that. Like, life is also about sharing experiences with people. But if you turn other people or external validation into your source of happiness, you just are in this constant cycle of chasing that validation, and you lose all that time that you could be spending to work on your dream life and yourself. There's just so many things that you can learn about yourself. And one thing that helps a lot is to snap out of the belief that someone is just going to come and save you out of bad situations or parts of life, because that's not going to happen. That's just not life. Like, you can't expect other people to come and take you out of bad situations or comfort you or do all these things for you, because that's not their responsibility to do that. And of course, it feels good if they do end up doing that, but it's then again, you should not be relying on that for your peace or happiness. And you have to remember this, that your life is about you. It's not about anyone else. It's about you, and it's okay. And it's not about obsessing over someone or possessing someone else or begging for attention or external validation. It's not about that. It's about you, and it's about how you develop in this life, and you should be your priority. I guess that's what I'm saying, in the least selfish way possible. And you have to get into the mindset of thinking your life is about enjoying, exploring, and thriving. And if someone wants to join you in that, then you let them. But at the end of the day, they should be adding something to your life and taking something from it. Like, you should be so confident in yourself and your ability to be there for yourself, that anyone else coming into your life, whether that be relationships or friendships or like mentors, peers, whatever it is, like, anyone coming into your life should be adding something to it. Otherwise, because I feel like there's no better way to drain your energy than to always be worrying about what the next person is saying about you. No one actually cares about other people that much to make them their life center, and that should be you as well, because it is so easy to just drain your energy when you start thinking about, oh, if they like me, do they not like me? All of those things are so irrelevant if you look at it from a larger point of view, because truly it is just taking away time that you could be spending on other things. Like, there's so much stuff that you could be doing than thinking about what someone else is thinking about you. And I feel like I can especially relate to this, because I used to be exactly the opposite of what I'm saying right now. I feel like I used to be the type of person to always be hyper fixated on what other people thought of me, or like said about me, I guess. Like this is crazy because it was only like a few years back where I felt like this, and I felt like I couldn't be myself around a lot of people because I was so scared that they would judge me, or when in reality I should have been confident in myself and my ability to express myself. Like I didn't need to be all caught up in what other people were saying, but that stopped me from being myself for so long that it started to just feel so draining being like this fake version of myself to please other people. And I feel like that is one of the biggest self-sabotages that you could do to yourself, because how are you to limit your own authenticity? Life is about being authentic. Being a human is so special because you get to be yourself. You get to have this freedom to express yourself in all these creative ways. And why would you not take that opportunity and run with it, you know? Truly, because when I detached myself and from people's expectations of me and what people thought about me, I feel like I left so much time to just be myself that I felt so happy. I remember like the shift. It didn't happen overnight, but like I would slowly just start being myself in more situations. And I guess it was also a change of who I was surrounded by, because I think people that are naturally maybe judgmental or they tend to already talk bad about other people, I feel like that is your sign to not be friends with people like that, because that limits your true self even more. Because no wonder you're scared. You've seen your friends like judging other people, so why wouldn't you be scared that they would judge you? That is normal. And I think this is why it's so important to be surrounded by other authentic people, you know, like people that also are not afraid of being themselves. And that truly, I mean, at least it helped me a lot to like come out of my shell and be the best version of myself, because when I see other people doing that, I feel like that energy is contagious. And which is why I feel like I have to continue to always be myself, because I never want to be that person for someone else where someone else thinks, oh my God, she's not being authentic, so I'm not going to be authentic. I never want to be that for someone else now. So I'm always myself. Every time I meet someone, I crack a joke that I think is funny, whatever it is. I just say whatever I'm thinking in my head all the time, and obviously in appropriate situations. But I feel like that makes me a much better company than someone who just is quiet all the time, you know? Like I feel like I'm not scared to say my opinion or say what I'm thinking about a certain thing, or like, you know, I feel like that just encourages discourse as well. I feel like we all are meant to talk about different things and have different opinions. And I sound like I have a controversial opinion or something. I don't. I'm just being myself. I just like saying whatever that's on my mind. And that is something I used to be so scared of, which looking back, it seems so minor, but it really is not when you're stuck in that cycle. Another thing too is like loving and caring for yourself ensures that you have high standards, and going into adulthood, I feel like that's so important when you form new relationships to have high standards, because you know what you're worth and you know what you bring to somewhere. So why would you expect anything less than what you deserve? When you know yourself well enough and you care for yourself well enough, you will realize that you will not accept anything that would disrupt this peace you've created for yourself unless they actually are bringing something of value. And this is just so important, because this way you're not settling for something less, and you're not settling for relationships based on superficial needs. You actually know what you want, and knowing that brings you a lot more power than you think. And especially through tough situations as well, in case, you know, let's say you did go through like a breakup of some sort or something, you can always return to yourself and know that you are able to provide that peace and that comfort and that validation for yourself, that you won't be heavily affected by external situations. And of course, we are not able to control what other people say, and this is precisely why it is important to have that relationship with yourself, because at least you can control how you can act and how you can process things. You know that best about yourself, but you might not know how other people might react to certain things. So this is why it's just so important to always have that safe space within yourself. I want to leave you guys challenging you guys to step out of your comfort zone and say what you want to say, and, you know, just not fear the consequences for once, and see how freeing that feels. And you realize that you'll never want to go back to that they're going to spend more than an hour thinking about you. So why would you waste that time thinking about that? You know, if that helps, think about it that way, because it's like, think about it that way. But yeah, I hope this helps someone. And I don't know, I've just been wanting to talk about this topic. And I just also want to say a huge thank you for all the people that recently subscribed to our channel. I feel like a lot of it was from the vision board video that I made recently, and it really helped a lot of you guys. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.